Good afternoon, welcome to the Oliveboard platform. My name is Marut Sharma, your logical reasoning expert, and we are here today to start this new session, new series of mixed practice questions, mixed mocks for RRB NTPC CBT 2. Right now, the primary idea here is to practice all parallel questions of RRB examinations. Okay, so we will have a good mix of RRB NTPC CBT 2 based questions, CBT 1, RRB Group D, RPF, wherever necessary. I'll try to bring in variation so that you can get a good amount of practice of parallel examinations. Okay, so that it gives you a better exposure, right? So that's the whole idea. We'll be solving questions in a stipulated limited time. And also what you need to understand is that when you are attempting these questions, these sessions are only going to give you a good idea as to what sort of questions you can expect and what is a diverse range of practice required. But you need to put in those extra efforts at your end as well, right? So let's start right away. And also this is the first session, so the level of the questions will be slightly at par your examination only, somewhere close to that. So you'll find the questions pretty easy and doable. But as and when we progress, we'll have a good mix of topics and level as well. So today you might find more questions of, let's say, analogy or coding decoding or blood relations, etc. And going forward, I'll put more focus on, let's say, an input output or puzzles or sitting arrangement, syllogism, etc, etc, right? So the topics mix will keep on changing, but overall we'll practice good 30 mixed questions. Cool. Let's start. The very first question in front of you, you can put the answers right away in the chat box. So in this very question, if you see, shirt is a type of a garment. Okay, shirt is made from a garment, or shirt is a type of a garment. So what is the main category of shirt? You can put it in the category of a garment. So what is necklace? In which category can you put a necklace? You can put the necklace in a category of jewelry. So necklace is jewelry. So option C is the right answer. Okay, pretty easy analogy, not a problem. Word analogy, majorly you will find it to be easy and direct. You will be able to save a lot of time in these type of questions. Now, whenever you study analogy, you have to ask yourself a certain question whose answer will be there in the form of the words given. Okay, and if both the set follow the same set of questions, can be fit in the same set of question, then you can find the correct analogy. So you need to relate them. Basically, if I see Bihar and Jharkhand, a lot of people are going to think that Jharkhand was a state which was which was carved out of Bihar. So similarly, what was carved out of Chhattisgarh? Nothing. Chhattisgarh itself was carved out of Madhya Pradesh. And the order in terms of analogy matters a lot. So then this question becomes incorrect. So what you can think is, you can think of some other statement where you can fit the bill. Bihar and Jharkhand were two states which were part of the same landmass. Landmass may not be the right word, but they were parts of the same parent state, and then they were broken down into two states. Similarly, Chhattisgarh was the part of a same parent state with which state? It's going to be Madhya Pradesh. So option D is the right answer. A lot of students without thinking are going to mark option D and they're going to get the correct answer. But you need to think of the logic here. Okay, that what exactly is the thought process behind it. Next. Now, in this particular question, identifying it in the examination might be slightly time consuming. Okay, slightly time consuming, not very difficult though, but you might have to think a little bit when you are attempting this particular question. So what are we going to do here is 4, 13, 3 and 4, 9, 4, 5, 19. So the first thing which a lot of people think is that it is going to be probably 4 into 3 plus 1. But 4 into 5 minus 1, not making sense. Okay. Then you'll think of 4 plus 3, 7. 7 plus 6. That's how you're going to think. 4 plus 3, 7 plus 6. 4 plus 5, 9 plus 10. And this is going to give it away. What is it? This is double of 3. This is double of 5. So if I add both of them, this is triple of 3 and this is triple of 5, right? So how can I rewrite this? I will be able to rewrite it as the first number plus 3 times the second number will give me 13. The first number plus 3 times the second number will give me 19. First number plus 3 times the second number, 18 plus 6 is not 28, so this is gone. First number plus 3 times the second number, so 1 plus 24 is 25, so option B is my correct answer. Got it? Next. Yes, Gen Z, this is live. Now this one is easier. This one is quite easy. 16, 64, 5 and 9, 27, 4. This one is comparatively easy. Why? Because we can see that 16 is being multiplied by 4 to get 64. So 16 into 5 minus 1 will give me 64. And similarly 9 into 4 minus 1 is going to give me 27. So 11 into 6 is 66, 21 into 6 is 126, it's right. 13 into 9 is of course not 91 and 10 into 4 is not 50. So option B is the right answer, where 21 into 7 minus 1 is equal to 126. So option B is correct. Okay. Next. This one is an extremely easy question. So junior is written as 6. You will observe that 3 and 3, 6 letters. There is a reason why I have given this question and the placement. Look at the placement, okay. So 6 letters, so 6 here. 6 to 8 letters, so 8 here. So 3 and 3, 6 and 3, 9 letters, so 9 here will be the answer. Option A is the correct answer. Cool. Just observe something. What do you have to observe here? RRB NTPC, this is CBT 1, shift 2. Exam is on 21st January 2021. Cool. You saw the logic, you saw the question. Now, just 6 months before this, approximately 6 months before this, 6-7 months, you will find this question in another exam of RRB, paramedical, okay, in July 2019, shift 3. The question says, picture is coded as 6, studio is coded as 5, then what will be the code for television? Okay. If you continue with the same logic, what are you going to get? You are going to see that 3 plus 3, 6 plus 1, 7, minus 1 is 6. 3 plus 3, 6, minus 1 is 5. So what will be the code for television? 3, 3, 6, 3, 9 and 10. So that is 10 minus 1, which is equal to 9. So option B will be the correct answer. Now what is the catch here? The catch is that this is the primary reason why studying parallel RRB examinations, solving questions of parallel RRB examinations actually helps you a lot to develop that, diversity, to understand the diversity, to develop that multifaceted approach towards questions when you are practicing questions from other parallel RRB exams as well, right? You just saw this NTPC CBT 1 though it was, but 2021 and this is 2019, July, January. Just in a matter of those 6 months, you could see a similar question based on a similar logic being asked. Okay. So that is the benefit. Focus on the questions from the same commission. Sir, my 16 September 12 to 1 p.m. shift, IBCI raw marks are 51.5, OBC category. Should I prepare for descriptive? Yeah, I think you should, Gen Z. Because after normalization, the last year's cutoff was approximately between the range of 60 to 70. Okay. That was for the general category. And that was after normalization. So you can definitely start your preparation. Okay. So now what is the code for RAM in this language? So how do you approach this question? You have to think about two things. Point number one is that if you have 4 distinct options given. 4 distinct options. Why distinct options? That means you should now not have none of these. You should not have data inadequate, or you should not have cannot be determined. Otherwise, you'll have to check the whole thing. So you have to have 4 distinct options and only one word is asked. Always use elimination. Okay. So wherever RAM is not coming, pick up those words. So boy has car, this is it, and car is blue, this is it. Delete all these because they can never have a RAM. Okay. So PLM QAZ IGB. So QAZ IGB, IJB, and this is EDC IJB FTB. EDC FTB gone. So this is the code for RAM. So option C is the correct answer. Cool, easy. Next. Now, in this particular question, if you see, the question is again very easy, but the approach is slightly different. Okay. What is the, why is it slightly different? I mean to say that they are wanting you to solve it a step more, one step more, additional step is required just to maybe take some more time. That's it. A lot of students, what they'll do is, without looking at the options, they'll end up solving this question and then probably getting to the actual question once they realize and they look at the options. So to avoid that, what is the biggest learning is always look at the options. And for reasoning section, so far in whatever examinations you might be giving, you must have learned one thing, that the reasoning section is working well on the concept of elimination. So if you are good at eliminating from the options and getting at the answers quicker, faster, at least you can solve 30 to 40% questions based on this concept alone. So that will save a lot of your time, which otherwise you would have, consumed if you had gone with the conventional methods. Also understand one more point here, that the logical reasoning section, a lot is also dependent on what you are leaving. Okay. So selective solving, that is, I need to learn that what I need to skip. If I am giving a certain examination, let's say I am coming at a reasoning question, which is a puzzle based question, which consists of a lot of negative data and talking about, let's say 7, 8 or 9 people, and I can see that there will be at least 2 to 3 cases which will be formed. I will be able to solve this question definitely. But if I sit and start solving this question, in the atmosphere of the examination, it is going to consume a lot of time. As it is, the question is going to take 2.5 minutes normally. And when you're sitting in that atmosphere itself, that question, that timing will increase to 4 minutes. And also you're bound to make some errors there, right? So rather than that, skip it at least. For that moment, skip it. If you have time in the end, come back to it. So learn these things, these little things, and try these in the mocks. That is how you'll be more accustomed to it. So Dickens is quoted as this, Eliot is quoted as this. What is the whole question? The question is saying, in that case, what will be the 5th letter from the left when this word is written in the same code language? Now, how will you decode the word? So you'll think of D and V. Nothing is making sense. I and Q. Then you look at it at the back. So you'll see 4 and 7. This is plus 3. 9 and 12. This is plus 3. But the moment you see C and U, not making sense. 11 and 15 is plus 4. 5 and 23 is not making sense anywhere. Then something clicks. What? That this is D and this is V. The closest to the reverse letter of D. D is W and W minus 1 is V. So this is reverse minus 1. Everything, check for each letter here. I reverse is R, minus 1 is Q. C reverse is X, minus 1 is W. K reverse is P, minus 1 is O. E reverse is V, V minus 1 is U. N reverse is M, minus 1 is L. S reverse is H, minus 1 is G. So now this is our code. Okay. So we'll have to decode this, but we need to find the 5th letter from the left. What is the 5th letter from the left? It is going to be R. So R reverse is what? It's I. And I minus 1 is what? It's H. So H is going to be my correct answer. Gen Z, I have already done that beta. For 2026 aspirants, you can watch the video here on the YouTube channel in the video section on this very channel. You can see I have said expectations versus reality. So I have also spoken in depth about strategies for 2026 aspirants. So specifically from the reasoning section. So you can go ahead and check that out. Okay. Very good, Animesh. Excellent beta. This is pretty easy. White ice can be of white color or colorless basically. Blood is of red color. Grass is of green color. Right? They are all following the same logic. Brown and sky, obviously they are not even related. So option C is the incorrect answer. Even if it was sky and blue, even then that would have been the odd one out. Why? Because the order was changing. Order is something which is very important in terms of analogy. This is stage 2, CBT 2. Very easy question though. No, Gen Z, it's here on the English channel also. Oh, okay, no, yeah, that's on the English channel, I believe. You're right. For English, I'll bring a strategy for you guys. Don't worry. Are you comfortable in English? Hindi or English maybe. If you are, you can watch it on the other channel also. It's there. You can find it in the video section. And if you need it in English, I'll probably plan that and get a session for you guys. Okay. Very good. Extremely easy. So if you are aware about this, okay, whenever we learn about number series, number analogy, missing numbers, etc., what we need to do is we need to make a list of special numbers. What are these special numbers? I have taught this multiple times. Special numbers means numbers which are following a certain criteria, a certain pattern. Something, in this case, it is n square minus n. If you remember these numbers for a list of, let's say, 10 numbers or first 50 numbers, it will become easier for you to detect the logics in an actual scenario. Okay. Though n square minus n is nothing but n into n minus 1. It's one and the same thing only, no? That is n square minus n. Same thing. Now, that's exactly what is happening here. This is 21 square minus 21, or this is 21 into 20. Okay, this is 17 square minus 17, or this is 17 into 16, and this is 25 square minus 25, or 25 into 24. Whatever it is, this is not following the logic, because 15 into 14, if I do 5 into 4, should have been 0 at the units place, not 8. And what should have been the correct answer? You should know that also. So 15 square minus 15 or 15 into 14 was going to be 210, not 208. So option B is the odd one out. Cool. Next. So that's the correct approach, that while practicing also you should understand, you should practice all possible variations, the complete detail, not only limit yourself to the correct answer, but both the approaches are important as far as the exam is concerned. Now this is an interesting one. They are asking you to rearrange the jumbled letters into a natural order and choose the odd one out. So they are going to make sense basically. Yes, Gen Z. The upcoming foundation course will be absolutely based on the new pattern, including the new topics, which this year, though they have not asked in the reasoning section, but they had asked in the other two exams, the steno based exam and the selection post exam. So we will cover everything in the reasoning section, and not only reasoning, all the subjects. So it will be absolutely based on the new pattern. Now here, a lot of you might not be able to guess the correct words. What exactly is this talking about? So what is the correct approach to this particular question is you need to randomize the letters and form an order. Let's say for the first case you have O, L, E and V. So now start with L. So make some random order, L, E, N, O, V. Okay. Then start with E. So E, L, N, O. No, randomize it a bit. E, N, O, V, L. Okay. Then start with, let's say, N. So N, O, E, V, L or E, L, V. Then start with V. So V, O, L, E, N. Okay. And look at all of them together. Right? Maybe someone will find out what it is all about. Some might not. So for the second one, do the same thing. So I-S-T-E-S-H, not making sense. S-I-S-T-E-H, not making sense. T-E-I-S-H-S. Then we already have one with H, so let's try with H. H-E-I-S-T-S. Okay. Look at all these together. The third one is this. So we'll start with G-A-Z-A-E-M-I-N, M-A-G-Z-E-N-I-A, N-I-A-E-M-Z-A-G. Okay, just try all these. And this is actually the giveaway word. At this particular word, you will be able to understand what were we talking all about. So the moment you see that, you will understand that this is magazine. Okay, if this is magazine, this is going to consume a lot of your time in the exam. While you're giving the exam, it's not going to be very simple. Those are questions, the level is very easy. Now you look at all these three, so you will now figure out this is novel. This one you will still get confused, but gradually you will figure out that this is a thesis. What about this one? Now you will figure it out that this is dictionary. Now what? Now what is the odd one out? So novel, magazine and dictionary are can fall under the category of books. They are all types of books. Thesis on the other hand is like an article. So option B becomes the odd one out. Okay, next. Good, very good. Dhanush and Amlesh, good job. This one is pretty easy. I think the moment you take out, this is stage 2, CBT 2. The moment you take the difference, 5 and 16 is 11, 16 and 29 is 13, 29, 46 is 17. The moment you see these three numbers together, you are instantly sure that they are talking about prime numbers. Why prime numbers? Because we are skipping 15 in between. Next one is going to be 19. Okay. Next one is going to be 23. Perfect. So the next one is going to be 29. Correct? Prime numbers. 88 plus 29. So just add this one here. So 30 plus 87 is 117. So option C is the correct answer. Okay. Next. Now observe one thing carefully here. How you can learn to save time in these questions. It's not merely about solving. Logical reasoning, a lot of you are, taking it lightly, thinking that, okay, this is an easy section and I'll be getting mostly all the questions. Everybody is able to do all the questions. So I don't need to put in the efforts. Of course, you don't need to study extra or a lot for that, but you need to build up your thought process. The faster you get, the better results it is going to yield for you. So what is there to learn in this particular question? The question is very easy and 99.9% students are going to attempt this and get the correct marks. Except for the few who are going to mark it incorrectly maybe. But what exactly can you learn from here? That is how to save time. Now a lot of you, under habit, what you are going to do is the moment you see the question, you start solving right away without even reading the whole thing. You will read this much and you will be like, okay, this is a letter series question, let's start. First letter is this, second letter is this, and unnecessarily you have wasted your time. So make it a habit. Repeatedly I am telling you, always read the question once and go through the options first and then start solving. Make that a habit always. The moment you look at the options, you see that the first two letters are M and B. So don't even bother checking the first two letters. Third one has two B's and T and C, and this one has two T's, I and S. Most probably, this is my predicted answer, but don't do that now. Earlier, there used to be a time when predicted answers used to be very correct most of the times. But now that might not be the case. Okay. So if you solve it, look at the third letter. Third letter is D. 4 plus 6 is 10. 10 plus 6 is 16, plus 6 is 22, plus 6 is 28. 28 means B again. So this is gone, this is gone. And the fourth letter R 18, minus 6 is 12, minus 6 is 6, minus 6 is 0, that is 26, minus 6 is 20, that is T. So we have option B as the correct answer. So what did we learn here? How to save time, that's it. and nothing else. Apart from that, it's an easy question. Everybody is going to get it correct. Next. How many hours of class per day in the batch per topic? Dhanush, actually what has happened is, we were planning to have a topic wise first before RRB had released the date sheet. But now RRB has released the NTPC CBT 2 dates. Okay. So we don't have as much time to go topic wise. So we are going to have a mixed session every day. Okay. 1 hour for reasoning, 1 hour for quant advanced, 1 hour for quant arithmetic, 1 hour for GK GS, 1 hour for, so these are, everything is going to be covered like this. Okay. 1 hour probably for current affairs, for computers. So that's the kind of practice we are aiming at, and they will all be mixed mock sessions. Now out here, what is it they are there to learn? Usually if you see the matrix which you are going to get is either a 3 into 3 matrix or a 4 into 4 matrix. So then thinking about or finalizing whether it is column based or row based is slightly difficult or time consuming. But out here if you see, there are more elements in the rows, in the columns, 1, 2, 3, 4. First column has 4 elements, 4 rows that means. Second column has 4 elements, third column has 4 elements, whereas the first row has only 3 elements. So wherever more elements are there, most probably that is where the logic flows. Okay. Also another point here is that there are 3 small numbers and a larger number in the end. So most probably there is some mathematical operation being followed here which is yielding this as the result. Okay, usually that's how you approach. So if you think like this, you might try to think about these numbers. Otherwise, even if you go row wise, you're not going to get anything credible there, right? So if you come column wise, you'll realize that this is 4 into 9, that is 36, plus 8 is going to give you 44. We'll confirm it here, 3 into 7, 21, plus 6 is 27. So similarly, we'll see that 8 into 4, 8 into 2 is 16, 16 plus 4 is nothing but 20. So option C is the correct answer. MBT मोहम्मद बिन तुगलक, हाँ, इब्न बतूता, सही है। अमलेश, ऐसी ट्रिक्स बहुत हेल्प करती हैं याद करने में चीजें, और जीके तो निमोनिक्स पे ही चलता है, पूरा निमोनिक्स का खेल है। द मोर निमोनिक्स यू कैन रिमेंबर, द बेटर योर जीके इज। नाउ व्हाट इज द प्राइमरी कॉन्सेप्ट हियर? What is the primary concept here? During his morning walk, Vidanshu walks a few kilometers in the direction of the sun. So it's talking about morning and it's talking about direction of the sun. That means the primary concept is that Vidanshu is walking towards the east. Right? This is the main concept. The main idea is this. Now there are two approaches to solve this question. Approach number 1 is a regular approach. Simple figure if you will make. After some time he turns right and walks 5 kilometers. And then he turns right again. So which direction is he moving now? So he is definitely moving in the west. So option D is the right answer. This is the normal method. But if you know, if you remember, what you can do here is, if the question is only focusing on direction, not the distance, then how you can proceed is, always remember, if I have 2 lefts or 2 rights immediately one after another, I am talking about a 180 flip. So if I am walking towards the north and if I am taking 2 lefts, so left and left, I am walking now, I am walking in the south, 180 flip. If I am walking in the west, I am taking 1 right, now I am walking 180 flip, that is in the east. And if I have 1 left and 1 right, or 1 right and 1 left, then that is always going to get cancelled, that is 0 degree movement. 0 degree movement. This is all you need to remember. So keep it in pairs and accordingly add your degrees and find your answers. Okay. Now if I say that he started moving in the east in the morning, okay, they are not bothered about the distance. I have read in the question till the end and I have understood. They are only bothered about direction. So it is going 1 right and 2 right. 2 rights means 180 flip. It is going in the east. 180 flip means it will now go in the west. It's that simple. But again, nothing against any particular method. It depends. If you are familiar with this also, you can use it. Not a problem. But if you are okay with this, the best part about this method is that this is applicable everywhere. This is very versatile. Okay, so you can use it anywhere you want for any question of directions. Correct. Very easy, extremely easy question. Correct. Max walks 15 kilometers west from his house. Takes a left, walks 15 kilometers. Takes another left and walks 15 kilometers. How far is he from his house right now? Okay. So he's 15 kilometers only. Very easy question. I don't think now they are going to ask something of this sort. Now, proceeding further in the future sessions, we are going to mix in questions from, as I told you before also, input, output, and more questions from critical reasoning, right? Statement based questions. So that is going to make it more challenging and enjoyable. So that's the kind of mix we are looking at. Right, Amlesh, going forward we'll do that. Since today is the first session, we have started with a very normal set of questions, but we'll increase the level going forward. According to Rinku's watch, it is a 8:15. 8:15 means, what is 8:15? 8:15 means, quarter means 15 minutes, quarter of an hour. Past means after 8, that is 8:15. So according to his watch, it is 8:15. Minute hand is here, hour hand is somewhere here. Okay, so this is 3, this is 12, this is 6, this is 9. And it is saying that the minutes hand is pointing in the east direction. So this is east, that means this is west, this is north, this is south. Question is, where is the hour hand pointing? The hour hand is pointing in the southwest. Option A is the correct answer. Cool. Which of the following statements cannot be definitely established? Understand the question carefully. It is asking you cannot be established. Okay. So A is the sister of B and C. D is the father of C. E is the mother of A. Considering these facts, which of the following statements cannot be definitely established? Number 1 says D is the father of A. Yes, he is. Number 2 says E is the mother of B. Yes, she is. Definitely she is. D is the husband of E. Yes, definitely he is. But this one is not definite. B is the son of E. I don't know. We don't know the gender of B. So option D is the correct answer. Next. If A is the brother of B, B is the father of C. A is the brother of B, B is the father of C, and D is the wife of A. How is D related to C? She is the aunt of C. Easy. Q is the daughter of L, whose only sister M, so this is L's only sister M, is the daughter-in-law of O. So this is M's husband and O. O's only son has 3 daughters, P, R and S. How is S related to L? So L's sister's daughter, right? S is L's sister's daughter. So option C is the correct answer. Now, to practice better, because CBT2 might have possibility based questions as well. To practice better, what you need to do is you need to attempt in both definite and possibility cases. So always draw this table when you're attempting these questions when you're practicing right now. Okay, we'll give our answers based on the definite case only. So all boys are girls, all dancers are boys, no girl is a singer. So some boys are singers. Can I say that? No, not at all, because there is a restriction here. And no singer is a dancer. Absolutely right. So what is the correct answer as per the definite case? Only conclusion 2 follows. But if I look at the possibility, what do I get? So some boys are singers is a possibility. Now boys and singers are yet, even then they are restricted. Okay, if they are restricted, even possibility is failed here. Okay, in case of no, restriction of a no, negative, even possibilities will fail mostly. Okay, there's no possibility in terms of no. And if anything is correct in definite, it is definitely incorrect in the possibility. So if the question was possibility for both the cases, your answer would have been none follows. Okay, practice like this when you are practicing. All squares are roses. Some roses are parrots. And no squares are parrots. No parrot is a square. Okay. Some parrots are roses. Yes, that's visible. Definitely true. And some squares are parrots. Not at all. Squares and parrots, there is a restriction of no. So again, only conclusion 1 follows. Option C is the right answer here. And what about possibility? So some parrots are roses is a possibility. No. If it is correct here, it is definitely incorrect here. But if it is incorrect here, it may be correct or may not be correct. Depends. So for possibility, what do we do? Some squares are parrots is a possibility. No, it's still not true. Okay. Because there is a relationship of no. Now, this same question could have been asked in the form of data sufficiency also. The question has given us 2 statements and 2 conclusions. We need to check which one follows. So, the question is saying, Sam sleeps more than Ram, who sleeps only 5 hours a day. So, this is Sam, this is Ram. Ram sleeps only 5 hours a day. Sam is definitely sleeping more than Ram. Okay. And the second one says, Sham sleeps 8 hours, which is 2 hours less than Sam. So Sham sleeps for 8 hours, which is 2 hours less than Sam. So Sam is sleeping for 10 hours. This is what we can understand from the statement. Now, based on this data, read the conclusions. Sam sleeps for 6 hours. No, not at all. So this is incorrect. Ram has a bad sleeping habit. Can we say that? No. We can't conclude that. Nothing about that is being said in the statement. Now, a lot of people will assume, they'll say that because Ram is sleeping the least, because he's only sleeping for 5 hours, probably he has a bad sleeping habit. That is your assumption. I need a conclusion. Conclusion means which can be derived from the statement, either implicit or explicit. Can I go for it? No. And even when it was an assumption here, let's suppose it was an assumption here, even then this would not have been correct. Why? Because that assumption is always talking about the author's assumption, not yours. Your assumption, your opinion is never going to matter in a critical reasoning question. Always remember that. Option D is the right answer. So W is less than X. If I look at this part, I can delete the equal to. So I can say X is greater than W. That means W is less than X. So the conclusion 1 is right. Q equal to S is not possible only because the equal to is going to go, and as it is, this is opposite. So Q, S and W itself and anything after that is not going to be related. So this is gone. So only conclusion 1 follows. Option A is the right answer. Okay, next. Here I'll have to change something. So we have statement 1 and 2 are sufficient, statement 2 alone is sufficient, statement 1 and 3 are sufficient, statement 1, 2 and 3 are sufficient. Okay. The question says A, B, C, D, E. Who is the shortest among them? There are 5 people. Okay. Option says 1 and 2, 2 alone, 1 and 3, 1, 2 and 3. So check for 2 alone first. B shorter than C but taller than E. From 2 alone, can I figure out who is the shortest? No, I cannot. So this is gone. Now we have 1, 3 and 1, 2. So let's check 1, 2. From 1 and 2, we see that A is taller than E but shorter than D. B is shorter than C but taller than E. Whatever it is between these 4 people, I don't care, I don't know who is the tallest, who is the second tallest, third tallest, fourth tallest. But I know that E is the shortest for sure. So that means 1 and 2 alone or 1 and 2 together have actually answered my question. So definitely 1 and 3 are not going to satisfy. Even if you check, you will get it not satisfying. Now a lot of people will say that I can find it with 1, 2 and 3. Yes, you can, but you have already found it with 1 and 2. So technically the third one is a superfluous statement. Superfluous means it is not required. It is an extra statement. And you will never utilize it in the case of together in that case. Because you have already found out the answer from 1 and 2, who is the shortest person. For me, finding the answer to the question is important. How much data is sufficient for me to find the answer? I am not bothered about solving the whole thing. If I am talking to you about a seating arrangement or a puzzle based question based in data sufficiency, always remember, finally arranging the whole sit is not important. It is only for me till the time I am getting my answer. I need to only go till there. And only that much data is sufficient for me. Did you understand? So in this case, a lot of people in a lot of websites are going to tell you that 1, 2, 3 together are sufficient, but they are actually not. 1 and 2 alone are giving you the answer. I don't need the whole arrangement, right? So the correct answer is going to be option A here. 1 and 2 together are sufficient to answer the question. Remember this. This one unnecessarily is trying to complicate things, but it is very simple. And whenever you will be arranging something, okay, for data sufficiency, your mind will always tell you that the arrangement needs to go through. But it may or may not. It may be a very simple thing, but it might just not strike to you in an examination. So J, K, L, M are standing in a line. 1, 2, 3, 4. J, K, L, M and N. They are asking you who is there in the middle. That's the question. Obviously, they are not in this order. Now the first statement, read the options first. Only 1, only 2, both and none. Okay. So only 1 says M is standing at the counter and N is at one end. So maybe a counter means it is going to be at one end only and N is at the other end. Let's say here. Okay. Do you know who is in the middle? No. Now the second one is saying after N, K is standing. So after N, K is going to stand. And after N, L is also standing. So K and L are standing after N. But where we don't know. Even if I combine both of them, let's say, so K and L are standing probably after N, maybe here or maybe that means they are standing here. But where I don't know, who is there in the middle, I have no clue. So the answer is going to be Both are insufficient to answer the question. Option D is the correct answer. This is a slightly modified version of the actual question, hence a different answer. Okay. In a class, all 28 students are standing in a straight line facing the north. J is standing at the 14th from the right end, and Bela is standing 12th from the left end. 12 plus 14 is 26, so it is less than 28. So this is no overlap. They are asking you how many people are standing between them. So total 28 minus these 12 people here and these 14 people here. It's that simple. Whatever is left is in middle. So 28 minus 12 plus 14. That's what you need to do. That is 2. So option D is the correct answer. This is a good question actually. A slight conceptual blockage for some students. Otherwise, the question is easy only. Now, in a row of 15 houses, so there is a row with 15 houses numbered from house number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on till house number 15. Right? Now, the difference between them is the same. So, this is common difference. Difference, distance I mean. Okay, and they are telling us that the distance between house number 1 and house number 5, 15 is 560 feet. This is 560 feet. The problem is a lot of students imagine that for 15 houses the distance is 560 feet. So for one house what is going to be the distance? And that is where a lot of people go wrong. The idea is this is taught in arithmetic progressions also. There is a good question here. Supposedly I have a ladder and these are known as rungs of a ladder. Okay. So how many rungs did I draw? I drew 4 rungs. So rung number 1, rung number 2, rung number 3, rung number 4. And how many gaps do I have? So I have 1 gap, 2 gap, 3 gap. So the number of gaps is always equal to the total number of items minus 1. And here the distance is actually in the gaps, correct? So if I have 15 houses here, technically I have 15 houses minus 1 means 14 gaps. That means 560 feet is for 14 gaps. So 1 gap is how much? It is 40 feet, correct? Now they are asking you what is the distance between the house number 3 and house number 7. So a lot of people will count like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They'll get confused unnecessarily. When you subtract 7 and 3, luckily you will get the exact gaps in between, 4 gaps. Okay. So if 1 gap is 40 feet, 7 minus 3 which is equal to 4 gaps is equal to 4 into 40 which is 160 feet. Easy. So option A is the Right answer. Now, if all the digits of this number are arranged in ascending order from left to right, then how many digits will remain in the same position? So, we'll start from 2, then we have 3, then we have 4, then we have 5, 6 is gone, 7, 8 and 9. We have only one digit which is staying at the same position. So, option D is the correct answer. Now, this question is easy for even a layman. Even if a layman is attempting the question, calendars, just the basic concept is required. Otherwise, the question is very direct and doable. There is no difficult calculation involved here. See, in this question, they are saying that suppose if 4th March 2018 was a Wednesday. Now, what is the basic concept which you require? The basic concept is that if it is a normal year and if there is a particular day on a date, let's say today is 24th of September, right? 24th September is what day? It is Wednesday. So, 24th September 2025 is a Wednesday, 24th September 2026 is going to be a Thursday plus 1. 24th September 2027 is going to be a Friday plus 1. But 24th September 2028, the moment you get a leap year, the days increase by plus 2. So after Friday, it will straight away become a Sunday because of the extra one odd day at 29th February, right? So that's the logic which you need to know. Basic, very basic. So 4th March 2018 was a Wednesday. Thus, 4th March 2019 is just going to be one day plus 1. That is Wednesday plus 1, that is Thursday. And you actually needed 7th March 2019. It's that simple. So how many more odd days? 3 more odd days you will be adding here. So Thursday plus 3, 4 plus 3, 7, that is Sunday. Even if you do calculate it with the regular calculation method, you will still find out Sunday only. But you will probably end up taking some more steps. Right? So that's the end of it. With that, we will wind up today's session. But today's session was a very basic introductory session. Going forward, we'll pick up on and we'll bring in more variation in the topics and we'll bring in more variation in the level of the questions, right? Thank you so much for joining live, guys. I'll see you around in the next session. Till then, you guys, bye-bye. Namaskar. Jai Hind.